All right. So now talking about leverage, and this is the part where I want to talk about risk management. So for example, this is a work account that I have. So this is from a grant that I got actually. So I need this money. Like this money was like this payment was intended so that I could use this money to pay for my legal, to set up my business, to do marketing, to have cash flow for keep my business running. So in this case, I'm pushing it a little bit lower that I'm comfortable with, but at the same time, we have already crashed. So it's not the same thing to have 1.64 when we're at the peak of the market than after a crash, because like if we were at XRP at $10 and then you're at 1.5, the possibility of XRP going back to $3 is potentially higher than XRP going to 30. So what I want to say is this that you're looking at in particular, this is a work position and I need this cash. It's just that instead of getting rid of my flare, I'm taking some leverage. So this was at 1.9 before the crash. And after that massive crash and like flare is still going down a little bit more, I think I'm still at 1.63. So as you can see, I have $6,500. My limit is $4,600 and my total borrowed is $2,800. So I'm just above half of my limit. So that means that the price of Flare would need to still go down around 45 to 50% for me to start getting liquidated. So even though this is pushing it, I'm still nowhere close to getting liquidated. And this doesn't mean that, oh, I'm good, I'm never going to do anything. I'm just going to leave it like that. What I'm saying is that you have time to do something. And in this case, I have some cash on the side that right now I'm just keeping it in the other account in case we need it. But if we keep dropping, then I would withdraw some of that cash, lower this amount, and then bring my health factor back up. So what I recommend, if you're a beginner, probably somewhere between 2.5 and 2 would be a good number to have, because that means that, yeah, the crash would be need to be massive for you to be liquidated. Is it possible? Definitely it is. Is it likely that we're going to crash 60% and stay there in one day? Probably not. I don't want to say no because after Friday, like anything is possible.
No doubt.
But all I'm saying is that there is a way to use leverage in the same way. I mean, let's go back to the Airbnb. Let's say that you have an Airbnb. You probably don't make enough money from that Airbnb to buy a second Airbnb. So at some point, you have to go to the bank, put that property up as collateral, take a loan, buy another property, and then you pay back that debt. Is there a risk? Absolutely, there's a risk. But at the same time, if you're smart about it and you time it right, then that will allow your money to become increase the velocity of money and make you more money. So, like I said, I am sitting in front of the computer all the time. So if I have to do something here, I can do it at any moment. And depending on how active you want to be, then you can push it a little bit more or you keep it on the safer side. If you do 2.50, I mean, I feel like if you get liquidated, getting liquidated would be the least of your worries. Because then that means that your token just dropped 80%. And if your token got dropped 80%, especially if you're working with stable coins, then you might be as well better be off keeping the stable coins than paying it back. So in the same way, a lot of the money of the flare that I have, I've been buying so much cheaper that I'm so much in profits that my leverage is taking that into consideration. I don't just blindly see, oh, this is my limit, I'm gonna max it out. I'm like, okay, a lot of this flare I got at half the price, so I know that I really put in $3,000. Now it's worth $5,000. So if I'm borrowing this, that means that at this point I could close this position and be back to where I started. Does that make sense?
It does. I have a question for you. Have
Go
you
ahead.
experienced a margin call yet?
Yes, I did in Sui.
What was that
Uh,
like?
uh, so like a year ago, like last February, March, I was aping into LPs and the price of Sui kept going up. So I keep increasing my leverage and I was like looping and entering LPs. This was like a $300 position and I got liquidated for like 50. So it wasn't the end of the world. But my problem is that I stopped taking into consideration my initial capital and
Hmm.
taking debt because, I mean, the real reason about not taking leverage is when you start borrowing what you don't have, right? Like as long as you're borrowing something that you know that you can pay back, leverage is
Hmm.
good. The problem is when you start taking more leverage that you can afford to pay back. So as I go up in price, I don't take more leverage automatically because I know that if there's a retrace, then I would be taking more leverage that I can afford to pay back. So all I'm
So,
saying is this is no different. Let me just finish this. This is no
hmm.
different than taking leverage in the real world. Like the same rules that you would do for taking leverage on the real world. Like if you borrow this money and then you put it all in a meme coin, hoping that it's going to do 100x, and then the meme coin goes to zero, then the problem is not the leverage, it's the decision of what you did with the leverage. And I feel like that is the thing that we need to say because everybody's like, stay away from leverage. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that is an oversimplified way. And also, you're making leverage the villain and not what
Hmm.
people are being irresponsible with that leverage.
I
Go ahead,
agree with that.
go ahead.
I was going to ask you in terms of the execution of the margin. I don't know if everybody in this group here right now understands the term margin call and what it is. I was just curious when you got margined at that point there, was it just executed automatically, like through a contract? Is that how it
Yeah.
works?
So somebody like the protocol has some like fail safe
Hmm.
that what they do is that they seize your collateral and then they auction it on the market. So
Okay.
so once you go to one, exactly to one, your your position becomes underwater. And that allows somebody else, either the protocol or somebody that is paying attention, to pay back your loan and they get to keep either 5 or 10% of your collateral of what they liquidated. So let's say that in this case I get liquidated for $1,000, then I would lose $1,000 of my collateral, and then
Hmm.
that person would get $100 for executing the liquidation. Now, the other thing that is very interesting is because my where is it? My collateral factor is 71%. For every dollar that I pay back here, I'm really unlocking 130% of collateral. So if I pay back $800 here, then this moves more than just $800 because then my limit compared to my borrow becomes higher because my collateral is, I'm not using 100% of this value compared to my limit. All I'm saying is that, for example, that SUI position, I didn't lose it all. I just got liquidated enough so that my position was healthy again. And at that point, it's not like they're going to take all of your collateral. Now, if the price keeps dropping like a rock, then of course you would get liquidated further because every time that you drop below, then that position becomes liquidatable again and they do it. And yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. It's like the bank takes your home, but the bank has no use of that home. So they're going to auction it for a cheaper price. So if you have the cash, you can potentially buy a really nice house at a discounted price because somebody's getting the margin call. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so I've been saying this many times. Crypto empowers users, but it does not force you to make right decisions. And I think that this is something extremely important to understand and to pay attention. And this is what I've been saying. If we want to do this seriously, we need to up our games so that we really understand what we're doing and what we are putting at risk. And also, we need to respect the cost of being wrong. And I think that that is a very important thing.